There's really three ways to build your business. You know, we started off this year and even last year with some business planning. They're on some previous videos. If you need some help with that, I'm always available. Just reach out to me. We'll be happy to answer any questions on business planning. But when I look at it, and I wrote a few things here, just, you know, there's three ways to go about it. You know, you can bring business in through marketing. Okay, we all know that tactic. You spend money, whether it's through social media or whether it's through print, or whether it's any type of marketing. You can get into geofencing. We can talk about that another time. So we'll get into that. And we can, you can get on the phone and start calling. You know, every industry out there, it's just a matter of call. You know, if a new gym comes into town, what do? They get a phone list of everyone who lives around them and they start calling them, inviting them to coming in. So you can do that. We call those cold calls. They're not warm calls, they're cold calls. And there's a whole strategy and a tactic to that. But what I want to talk about today is working with our sphere of influence, often referred to as your SOI, and that's just the people who are around you. When I talk about the sphere of influence, I'm not talking about an internet lead or an inquiry. Oftentimes we confuse somebody in my database. I'll ask ask an agent, hey, do you have a database? And I'll say, yeah, I've got a database. I've been collecting names and phone numbers or names and emails for years. And I'll say, you know, okay, tell me about your database. Okay, well, I've got 3,000 people in my database. Well, what I'm really looking at with that is, do they know you? Do they like you? Do they trust you? So the first thing we want to do with our database is differentiate very clearly between an internet inquiry and an actual potential client or somebody. Now, an inquiry or somebody we're going to buy or sell a home with. An inquiry can become a client. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're junk. But you know, we have AI, we have artificial intelligence, we have automatic emails, we have automatic texting that can percolate the inquiries. So today I'm not going to really talk about that or get into some of those strategies. We do a lot of that. But what I'm going to talk about is what you can do with your personal database to make it better, to make it more productive. Okay? So the first thing we want to do in most cases is shrink that database down. We want to put out the qualifying questions. As you look at each person, first off, you need at least 3 points of contact to call them a database client. Okay? What would they be? I need a name, I need a phone number, I need an email, if I can get an address, if I could get their spouse's name and their kids' names, you know, it goes on and on. But I need at least 3 of those. I need really the main 3 I need is a name, a phone number, and an email address, and I would love a personal address off that. Okay? So we start off with that. As I go through that and I've got them in there, I look at it and say, okay, so I start with 500 people. And I go through, and of the 500, there's 200 of them that I don't have enough information to even contact them. I've got an old house phone number that doesn't work anymore. Hello, a lot of people don't have home phones anymore. Call those numbers and they're dead. I've got what we're really looking for is that cell number, something I can reach out to them with. Okay. Let me back up a little bit. The number one reason I find that people don't want to do this is because they don't want to creep on their friends and their family. I agree 110%. Don't be a database creeper. We'll talk about what we can do once we've cleaned up our database, but I'm not taking it down a rabbit hole to say, okay, now call them all and ask them if they know anybody who wants to buy or sell homes. That's not what we're going to do. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to get this cleaned. As you go through it, you get it, now you're down to 300 people. Now you have to honestly ask, do I know this person? Yes or no? I know them. Yeah, I know them. Do you like them? Good question. Whether you like them and they like you. I don't keep people in my database that I don't like because I just simply don't want to work with them. So why keep them there? Why keep them around? Okay? And then, do they trust you? Okay? These are the 3 things that'll help them actually get up and get into your sphere of influence and do something in your sphere of influence. Okay? So that's really all I'm going to cover today. That's the first step. The next steps are we're going to go into that database now, and I'm going to tell you next week what to do with it. But simply clean up your database, get the inquiries out, decide whether a real client, whether you have enough information from be in your database. If you don't and you know them, pick up the phone and get a hold of them. Find a way to get a hold of them and get them back in your database. But let's work on cleaning up your databases, and I'm going to tell you that 98% of the people can't make it past step 1. That's why they never have a successful database marketing campaign. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope that if you need anything that you're able to come to our website and look at our business tips, and make sure to follow us on our pages or on our page at In the Trenches of Real Estate. Have a great day. See ya.